This is the Movie Geeks Film News Podcast Network, and you are listening to the Movie Geeks Film Cast.
Right, so the main thing we're going to talk about then this evening is Neill Blomkamp taking over the Alien franchise.
Yes, and precisely, more importantly, that weird bit of news.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
Which is doing my nutting.
What do we know about this so far? How did he manage to get hold of the franchise?
Didn't he just throw some concept sketches at them and stuff?
With Higgs and Reese and... What's her name? Not Ripley.
Not Reese, that's Terminator.
That's
Ripley.
Terminator's name.
Ripley.
Hicks
and Ripley, yeah.
Ripley, yeah.
Yeah, he did. He had he spent his own money, and in his own time, he'd had this concept done. These concepts worked up, and they appear to include the ship that the space jockey was in from. What planet is it? Is it LV-426?
No, LV-424 on Prometheus.
Yeah, but we'll get to whether or not Prometheus is going to survive this retcon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it includes that semicircular ship or that half hoop, whatever, horseshoe. And yeah, Ripley and Hicks. Which implies what, Steve? Go on.
Well, are we talking about the main thing now?
Yeah.
I was trying to find the actual bit of text. Has anyone got it? The actual statement that we put.
Well, see, you said this, but I thought you said it wrong. I thought he said he wasn't going to interfere with Prometheus 2. You told me he wasn't interfering with Alien 3.
No, I cut and pasted that into that email. That was what was on the website. The fact that it won't interfere with Alien 3. Which
no, I think... Okay, I might be on the wrong page. Let's have a look. We put it into the flipboard, didn't we?
Yes, let's have a look. I read it, perhaps I was wrong, but I read it at 3, and I could not figure for the life of me how the hell they were going to do that. Unless they're going to CGI Ripley in and not have her as a 60-year-old.
No, I think...
Yes, there you go. New Alien won't undo Alien 3 or Resurrection. Director Neill Blomkamp is setting the record straight that his upcoming Alien sequel will not undo the events of Alien 3 or what's the other one?
Why is this
Resurrection.
Why is this impossible?
Well, how the hell are they going to do that? Because it's supposed to be following on from number 2.
Right.
So she's 35 years old.
Yeah, but a bit of CGI and a bit of makeup, mate. They do what bloody like.
Right, okay.
He dies in Alien 3.
Hang on a sec, Steve. Is that an option? Is de-aging these two actors an option?
No.
It's not.
It's not.
I don't think it is. I don't think we're capable of pulling that off yet.
No, that's not going to happen.
Not convincingly.
Terminator with Arnie, you could tell. And even, the later one.
And even that sparingly, right, Steve?
Yeah.
So, Paul, do you think they seriously would attempt that?
They can do it.
You think they can?
You can make Na'vi appear perfect for 3 hours. You can do this.
Yeah, but you don't have a frame of reference.
Hmm?
You don't with the Na'vi. You don't have a frame of reference. It's not like It's not like you've seen the Na'vi and you go, "Oh, hang on, there's something not quite right here." But when you look at her face,
yeah, but you clearly saw her face as a Na'vi, and you clearly saw Sam Worthington's face as a Na'vi, and so on.
Okay, well, let's say they do, Paul. Right, so. Then we're assuming then if they are going to do that they somehow get stuck in the deep freeze again for a God knows
and that's the point I wanted to make. That's the sin of Prometheus being committed again, isn't it? Of the rope-a-dope with they're showing us one thing and giving us something else. If you're going to take Hicks and Ripley out of deep freeze, it retcons part 3 and part 4 out of continuity.
Yeah.
Unless you put them back in afterwards, which is a massive con.
And also, not accounting the fact that Newt is still a child in Alien 3, because she dies.
Right, just to put another spanner in the works, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Now, obviously, we don't know what the script is, do we, at all for this film, no?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think there is anything. I think it's just concepts right now.
Yeah, okay. So, in other words, I can draw some pictures of characters from old films, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be in the film. Just because we see a picture of Hicks, how do we know he's... You know what I mean? How do we know he's in it?
Hasn't Bean agreed to be in it or something?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about him being...
Yeah, because he's in the picture.
A Twitter account claiming to be Michael Bean's Twitter account claimed that, yes, he was on board, and then his wife came out and said he doesn't have a Twitter account. That was a spoof.
And I'm looking at the untitled Neill Blomkamp Alien Project on IMDb, which is obviously not gospel by any stretch of the imagination.
It's near as you get at the moment, though.
Yeah, and the only person on there is Sigourney Weaver, Neill Blomkamp, and Dan O'Bannon, who's a writer, and Ronald shoots it.
Yeah,
But he's not even on there.
Dan O'Bannon will be an exec producer because he was the writer of the original, right?
That's right, yeah.
I think it's important to go back to what Andy's done, because that will lead us down it following on from 3 and/or 4.
Yeah, but that was initially, that was the idea, wasn't it? We thought we'd read somewhere that it was going to... They was not going to... It was going to be... We're forgetting 3 and 4, and it's going to be after number 2.
Yeah, and I'm just reading now.
But that sounds like that isn't the case.
Right, there's the second statement, which I hadn't seen. Okay, the first statement is what we just said. It won't undo the events of Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection, but then this is on Variety, by the way. Then another statement in inverted commas. My favourites are the first 2 movies, so I want to make a film that's connected to Alien and Aliens, he told Allocene. That's my goal. And then he says, I'm not trying to undo Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection. I just want to be connected to Alien 1 or 2. Well, that sounds to me like he's not, his intention isn't to undo it. He's going off on another tangent, which is what we want. Because we want a direct follow-on from Aliens, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. If you were gonna ask me to invest in this, I'd want a direct sequel to Aliens, and I wouldn't lose any sleep if we retcon 3 and 4 out.
No. So those 2 statements, now I've read the second one, they contradict each other.
They do.
No, they don't.
They contradict each other when you take them out of context. One
says it won't undo the events of Alien 3, and the other one says, I'm not trying to undo Alien 3.
Yes. So out of context, that looks like he's saying, I'm not trying to, but I will.
It might happen, yes. Yeah, exactly.
That's not his intention, but, you know.
This is what we want him to fuck off Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection.
At this point, at this early in production, they need to be so careful about the way they turn a phrase, because they really don't want to, pardon the pun, alienate anybody at this stage today. Thank you. They
might end up with egg on their face.
Yeah, they might. If they're going to move forward with a sequel to Aliens, they don't want to offend the fans of 3 and 4, because those 3 people are really important.
Yeah,
see what I did there?
I mean, Alien 3 is a very well acted film. We've spoken about it before.
I don't like Alien 3, but I enjoy Alien 4. I like that.
See, now Alien 4...
You're a Ron Perlman lover, that's why.
Alien 4 can exist, right? Am I... correct me if I'm wrong.
It's like 500 years in the future.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's way far in the future, and she isn't Ripley.
That's right.
She's a clone from material retrieved from...
Yeah. And she's got latent memory
prison.
From DNA. It's all crap. I mean, it's a good watch. It's a popcorn movie. I agree with Andy. If it's on the TV, I will turn it on. But
all right, let's just play with this idea then, right?
And Joss Whedon wrote it, so it's good. So shush.
Oh, it is.
1 and 2 are never going to be altered in any way. That we can say that 3 and 4 exist, but they exist because we've got a lot of time where they are in cryo, that they could be there could have been a lot of years that passed.
Well, assuming that he's not going to undo the events of Alien 3, then what we've got to presume is that they take off from Alien 2, Aliens, and somehow it all goes wrong again. They have this massive adventure, which is the new film coming up, and then there's an egg inside the same ship, not from the Queen in Aliens, as we presumed from 2 and 3.
Which is that's the Prometheus sin. That we'll accept for a second, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. And then the egg hatches. They've actually been in this whole nother adventure. They've been floating through space for another 70 years, and then they crash on the
Prison Planet.
Fiorini or whatever. What was it called, sorry?
Fury 159.
Right, so then they have a whole adventure that she never brings up once in the third film, never references it. That's the Prometheus sin. That offends me slightly, but just accepting that that's what they're going to do. The only way they can do that is with de-aging the leads, right?
I've just got a massive plot hole I've just remembered.
Which is
when the unit, the ejection unit lands in, is it Fury 159? I want to say that, something like that. Hicks still has his eye bandage on.
Yeah, but then you see what happened is at the end of Aliens, his eye healed, and then he had exactly the same accident at the end of Neill Blomkamp's film.
Yeah, well, that's it then. It's perfectly feasible.
We got two options then, right? They either de-age the leads and tell us a story between parts 2 and part 3, or they retcon part 3 and 4 out. Is there another option?
Yeah. Well, Neill Blomkamp says, well, yeah, Alien and Aliens happened. That's the timeline. But then here's two options. You can either go down 3 and Resurrection, or you can go down my route. That's what I think he's going to... That's what I think he means when he's not trying to undo. It's like another bloody... Well, you can either choose that story path or this one.
Paul, you've been very quiet.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's taking it all in, same as me.
I can't.
To me, this is a big deal. This is my... I feel passionate about this, like you do about your...
yeah, but this is what you were saying about your argument earlier, Steve. About I wish they'd just stick to one thing. You're just changing that completely by this guy bringing a new thing.
This reinforces that because I want them to. I've always.
Yeah, but no, but in other words, we've had 3 and 4. They've been made. You can't just write them off.
I'm happy to go down that path if it means writing off the shit films and making a single timeline that's good.
Which is exactly what Batman and Superman are doing, but you don't like that.
But they don't need to remake it. One Batman Begins and the other two are awesome.
Yeah, but you were saying earlier that you want these things to come back and have a longevity.
I think it's... I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. Apart from the fact that I don't agree, but I don't know why I don't agree or how I can argue it. I just think we've all been waiting for a film like Aliens, and now someone's thinking about doing it. You've got to write off 3 and 4 because they were shite, and they weren't even. There were so many continuity errors with those, and they were. You
haven't seen this. Not being funny. Look at how you got all excited. Everyone got excited, bar me, for Prometheus.
Yeah.
And what a bag of shit that was.
Yeah. No, I will.
So don't count your chickens, mate. That this is going to be the saviour of Aliens. It might not be.
No.
Also got excited about Elysium.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, I was really looking forward to that as well. So
that's an interesting point, actually, Paul, because Neill Blomkamp is not really trading on much now, is he? He's 1 in 3 for successes, really, isn't he?
Well, what's Chappie like? Anyone know what Chappie's like?
Chappie's died on its arse, and it's not. I haven't heard a favourable review.
Oh shit!
Yeah, see, I love District 9.
District 9 was great.
It was the uniqueness of it what was brilliant, but once you made 3 or 4 films the same, they're not unique anymore, are they?
No, and he's very visually oriented, isn't he? It's a lot. There's a lot of design that goes into his films. Elysium was all design. It's like Blade Runner without a narrative in it. It's there's no substance. You're absolutely right. But what he's doing, one of those comments I just read on a story, Steve, you flipped into the flipboard, was that he's protecting Prometheus because Ridley wants Prometheus 2. We know Ridley is in pre-production on Prometheus 2, as discussed on a previous episode. But why are they? Are we happy? I mean, I know how I feel about it. How do you guys feel about Prometheus being firmly in the canon of Aliens now?
Meh.
Well, does it matter with this one though, Mark? Because he doesn't need to protect it, because Alien 3, we're called this new one Alien 3, is in way hundreds of years in the future before Prometheus anyway. So what's to protect? I mean, unless Ridley Scott says, "Oh, can you chuck in a bit of this because it's a nice Easter egg to my Prometheus 2 that I'm doing," but he can't really reckon.
Well, there can't be any Easter eggs in it because Prometheus before all this.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Ridley might say, "Oh, can you put this crashed ship in your film? I'm going to crash it in Prometheus 2."
That's a fascinating point. Why even make that? Why is that a headline? Why even make that point then?
Yeah, it's in the future. You can't
step on it.
You can't wreck it, can you? It's kind of redundant. Unless they go back in time.
But it also stops Neill Blomkamp from putting any additional material up previous to what happened as well. He's got to leave that to Scott.
Well, how do you mean previous, Paul?
Well, he can't go along with his story all of a sudden and say, "Oh, by the way, this happened because of events 10,000 years ago." Because Scott's already covering that information. And anyway, Steve, you just said, let's call this Alien 3. We have an Alien 3.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they're going to call it. Aliensons?
Well, the other thing I'm reading is the quote that simply says it's actually unclear at the moment what's going to happen, if it's going to even follow events of Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, or complete a completely different alternative follow-up. So, I mean, if she was a clone in Resurrection, she could be a clone again, for crying out loud.
Yes. What? They could clone both her and Hicks?
Possibly, why not? They can clone one and clone the other.
See, Sigourney Weaver also said when she was asked about...
I mean, looking at the picture he did on the other article, I think it was literally just a proofing situation and nothing more.
Can I read you Sigourney Weaver's last thing? When she was asked about this whole thing, she wanted to give it a proper ending.
She said,
she's interesting.
She said, "Where's my goddamn cigarette? What's wrong with this picture?"
Yeah. She said, "I think we left a series that's quite beloved, just literally sort of hanging in the air." Obviously talking about aliens. I didn't like the way it was going, meaning probably Alien 3 and 4. I think it's hard to manufacture a good story just because they want you to make another one. I guess I always wanted to complete this story, and it wasn't really till Neil and I started talking about it that I had the opportunity. This is why we've waited however many years it's been. So I think she wants to do a direct sequel to Aliens, finish it all off. Robert's your father's brother.
You can read that either way, though.
Can somebody tell me what was unfinished?
You could read. I would say, if anything, the way it was unfinished was at the end of Resurrection when they're on the ship and the aliens are coming down to the Earth, and you know what I mean.
I think she's written that off. I don't even think she wants to think about Alien Resurrection.
But she killed the Queen. What more do they want?
Because you never found out about the girl, about the cyborg, about her and Hicks. What happened? I think she's on about aliens. What do you think, Mark?
I think we're giving him a bit too much credit.
I think you're looking at those pictures and hoping.
I think that Neill Blomkamp has designed something that he would have liked to have seen, almost with all due respect to the man, but in the same way as we see this fan fiction thing like that Power Rangers that came out a couple of weeks ago with Joseph Kahn. I think that we're giving it a little bit too much credit. I don't think that there's any grand design that carefully weaves a new story in between two things. I think they're going to go for broke, double down, and retcon Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection out of continuity, and they're going to pull Ripley and Hicks out as older versions of their characters and kick something off afresh, and they're going to ignore the last half of the franchise.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they'll try, and she'll be working in as a forklift driver in her 60s, and they'll go, "Oh, there's been another problem. We need you to go back and strap on some armaments and sort out some shit."
Unless the aliens come to Earth. Because if they've already sowed the seeds in Aliens before we even get to Alien 3. They've already sowed that seed that there is something on the landing craft, right? Because there's an alien on the escape ship, the Pharaoh ship. What was that called? That drop ship.
Yeah.
So there was an alien on there, wasn't there?
Yeah, assuming that we're holding to the old egg thing here, aren't we? Where the egg sac got broken off, and maybe there was one inside a body still, and
Well, one of the was it Newt's casket or something had a hole in it? Did it?
Yeah.
So one of them was gotten.
Yeah. You even see in the beginning of Aliens, one of the flashback scenes is the egg hatching, and you can see it's upside down on the inside of a ship. So you assume that's the drop ship.
Yeah. Yeah, I think right now they're being very, very careful. They don't want to come out and say that we want this franchise again. We've got the two most popular characters, most beloved characters, and their actors interested in coming back. So we are just going to retcon 2 films out of existence. They don't want to say that right now because it's going to get too many people agitated.
Also, Mark, you mentioned aliens on Earth.
Yeah, I think that might happen.
I think you've heard it here first. Yeah, but only in Predator.
Well, it's still been done. There's still the same universe, surely.
Yeah, but in current day, we're talking about aliens on Earth in a future environment, which I think would be quite...
Do we know what year it is in the Aliens movie?
Is it
2700 or something? Is it?
I don't. You know, I
it's
don't.
Way
know.
out there, isn't it? Is it on IMDb?
I'm googling it. And
yeah, that's where my money would be anyway. That they're gonna retcon half of that saga out, and it'll piss people off at this stage. But wait until you start seeing set pictures of Ripley and Hicks, and then they'll drop the news.
Just reading another comment here on IMDb, which is supposed to be a quote. Though it was rumoured that the film would erase the events of Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection from continuity, based on comments by Neill Blomkamp, the director later confirmed this is not the case. He went on to explain that the film would take place after those films, but he favoured the first two and wanted his film to tie into their stories, which is what we said earlier.
But it can't, because
that's a nonsense, though, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, Resurrection's 500 years after. Aliens is 2179.
You can ignore that because you can't ignore 3 because it's a sequel, but you can ignore 4 as we spoke about earlier because it's that far in advance and it's not her. It's a clone.
Yeah.
It's a puppet.
It's a puppet. But
she kills herself in the end of 3.
And that's where they get the genetic material for the clone. But there could be alterations.
I think you're getting into silly land.
Well,
at this
we're
point,
only going by what the director's saying, Steve.
Yeah, no. I think he's not you. You're not responsible, or are you? Maybe you should tell us now before we come round there.
Don't tell him, Andy.
But Aliens is in.
He'll only go back in time and steal it.
Aliens 2122, Aliens 2079.
Oh, I thought they were way further ahead than that.
Well, they didn't even have iPads. They still had dot matrix printers because when he gives her daughter's picture, it comes out of those printers with the little strips of paper on the side that feeds the paper in.
Stupid sci-fi writers.
Damn them with no bloody future.
Damn them all, especially the time travel ones.
Yeah. So
no, don't damn them.
We've just hashed that about for half an hour and we don't know the answer. But I'm with Mark. I think that's all bollocks. I think they've got to get rid of 3 and 4. There's no way to play it in. And they'll follow on from 2.
That would be my prediction. Is that later on they'll reveal that they're taking out 3 and 4, and Ripley and Hicks survived after Aliens made it to Earth, and then there's a huge infestation on Earth or something like that.
No one's going to care that they take out 3 and 4 anyway. They're not upsetting anyone.
No, I mean
just for the record, I like 3.
I like 3, and I'll watch both of them. But
interesting. Your words earlier were what a pile of fucking shit.
No. The pile of shit is if they try and fudge it in there. I actually like 3 for its acting. I think you've got brilliant British actors.
I'm going to listen to this tomorrow, Steve, to listen to your quotes and send it to you in a little clip.
You can do that. Their only shit it will be if they fudge it in and try and make a film that fits into that universe, and it won't. And I know you agree with me, Mark.
No, I do agree with you. I think it's I think it's a ginormous mistake to try and just wedge something in there and commit the Prometheus sin. You can't do that.
No.
Right, are we done with the alien talk?
We're done.
Yes.
We're finished.
Right, I'm done. I'm not excited for it. If Mr. Blomkamp was a little bit more consistent with his results, I would have a little bit more interest. Right now, it's just I'm just curious.
Yeah. Unless
Very
Cameron
curious.
I'm bi-curious.
Maybe Cameron will jump in and say, I'm picking it up.
No, he's busy. He's got 17 Avatar films to make.
Yeah, we need to do some research on Avatar 2 and 3 and have like a synopsis of...
And 4, right?
And 4, yeah. And what we know about Sigourney in that. And we could have a whole show about Avatar. Why don't we do some research and see what we'll see?
All right, we're on. If in the meantime you're listening to this and you don't want us to talk about Avatar, then send us a tweet at Movie Geeks News, #MGFN, #Avatar sucks, and we won't do it.
What was that again?
No.
Type in the tweet now.
No.
But if you like it and you want us to do it, then do #Minky Moo.
Minky Moo.
Mingy Moo. Is it Minky Moo?
It's Mingy Moo.
Mingy
It's
Moo.
yours. You forget your own tangents.
#Minky Moo. I'm changing it up.
All right. Right, let's do this again next week then.
Right,
Everybody happy we've covered everything?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Right, don't forget, everybody go and check out our new website, mgfn.co.uk. We will see you next
enjoy
week.
yourselves. And look forward to films. That's what they're there for. Don't listen to us, bastards.
Goodbye, listener.
Sell it to.
Goodbye, listener. Right, we're out.
Find everything we do at mgfn.co.uk. Follow us on Twitter at Movie Geeks News and at facebook.com/Movie Geeks Film News. Thanks for listening.